Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name is SockBot, and again, I am sorry for the weird audio, but, well, this is how my filming has been recently, given the hectic schedule. But today, I wanted to go through another top 5 Dreams level so far, and if you were wondering, I am trying to stay away from the ones that are, well, very obvious and are basically recommended to you from the second that you start. And in addition to that, I have a rule for no, Media Molecule official things, unless it's from, a Media Molecular outside the official account, because I'm not fully sure if those are real. But regardless, I have 5 more today and a couple honorable mentions because, well, they're great. But again, these are in no particular order, and before we get started, if you do like the video, feel free to like and subscribe if you want to see more, but no pressure as always. And now let's get into it. So, number 1, and this was actually the last level that I played during that very long stream I did last week, because most of this week has been spent doing create mode. Speaking of which, if you haven't seen it, feel free to go check out my last create mode tips video, which I posted earlier this week. But this was the last one I did, and I actually got cut off the second that I finished this level, which is very strange. But it's a really cool level, and it's a very interesting concept. Basically, it's kind of not really like a rhythm game, but it's like a rhythm-based platformer where you are playing as this character who jumps on the beat, and everything in the level, including all the platforms and the hazards, they all move based on the beat. And it's very, very interesting, and it's a really cool idea to mix platforming and a rhythm game together. I know that other things have done it. I mean, even now we have, Crypt of the Necro Dancer, which is like an RPG mixed with an RPG dungeon crawler mixed with a rhythm game. But this just does it really well, and I've always thought that it would be cool if there were more things that, more platformers where it wasn't really up to you to jump. And Polarity is another one that does something similar to that, but I'll talk about that a little bit later. So that is why I enjoy this one so much. It's a very unique idea. It's very well polished. I'm hoping to see more from this person. They do have a Twitter account, so feel free to go follow them there, because they're quite interesting. And I definitely want to see more of this type of game from them. And if not this exact game, extended more, because I do think it's pretty gorgeous and I would love to see more. Maybe something kind of based off of it. But I guess we'll see what happens. So the next one is, almost breaking the rule of a lot of people I know have seen this one, but I just think it's really interesting, and I know that a lot of people probably jumped into it and didn't finish it, or don't really know what it is, and I'm probably not going to be very helpful in terms of what it is, but it is very cool. So the next level, number 2, is Neon, and I don't know how to describe this, because it plays kind of like a horror game, but the character is kind of hilarious and weird looking, but it's a very interesting level. I love the art style. I love this, it kind of serves as a tech demo, especially the second part, because I know Media Molecules talked about this level, and the second part is kind of reminiscent of the Resident Evil games, the original ones, where you would have the fixed camera angle, and it's all through a fixed camera angle, but basically you're going through this top-down maze using the character, and you can only see the room that you're in, which is pretty interesting, and it's a great idea for a maze, and it's just an interesting example of the tech that it requires to do that. But the reason that I picked this level is not for that. It's for, one, the variety in gameplay with it, and namely that involves the fact that there are multiple different camera angles. Every single level kind of feels like a different game, and that's very interesting, and it also is pretty hard to do while still remaining cohesive and still making sense and not having to reteach the player mechanics, and I think it demonstrates that really well. The environments are also really, really, really well done. Even though they are quite basic, they are very interesting, they are very polished. It's a pretty game, if a bit strange, and it's also, like I said, kind of creepy and kind of scary. So yeah, not really sure how to label this one, but it's great. Neon, go check it out. Number 3 is probably one that some of you have played, but if you haven't, you need to go play it now, because it was ranked 3rd place in the Robots Community Jam, and not saying it deserved first, because I think Curiosity was the one that won, and that was great, but that was more of a tech demo than an actual game, and it was an amazing tech demo, don't get me wrong, but this one is a fully fledged game, and it plays like something that could be fleshed out into a full game that I would pay $20 for as an indie game, I guess. I mean, maybe more if it was very, very interesting and had a multiplayer or something that would work super well. But there are secrets in this game. I'm getting ahead of myself. It's a puzzler. It's a really well done puzzler. It's done in 3D. Well, I guess it's in 3D. It's kind of 2D-ish. No, because you can jump, so yeah, it's in full 3D. And it's based on these different block puzzles that seem very basic, but get advanced quick enough for it to remain interesting. And I could imagine going from here into future versions of this game or future levels of this exact game that it could become quite intricate and quite difficult. I didn't have any huge problems with the puzzles myself, but it is very interesting. It's very well done. The controls are perfect. The graphics look gorgeous for what it is. Even the platforms rising from the water is very interesting. Like I said, it just feels like such a finished game because there are so many secrets, even ones that I missed the first time, and because it just has so much personality to it. But yeah, like I said, great game. 3D platformer wonderfulness, I guess, and definitely go check it out. But number 4, and like I said before, these are in no particular order. Number 4 is 2D Jack, and this has become pretty popular. I think a lot of people have talked about it before, but again, I want to talk about this because it is truly incredible how much this person has put such personality, and I say that a lot because it's interesting when it doesn't just feel like a Dreams game, it feels like its own game. There's so much personality in this character, and there's so much like depth in the artistic style that they've chosen to go with. That is, I mean, it's not like we haven't seen it before. It's blocky and, you know, like everyone's gonna say Minecraft and a bunch of other games. 3D Hero, is that the name of that game? That's supposed to be like Legend of Zelda, the original one, but it's in 3D and you create your own character. Kind of like that. Reminded me a lot of that, except it's in 2D. And it's a kind of a dungeon platformer, I guess an adventure platformer. It's hard to say because it's not really a RPG considering you can't kill things, but it is very much a dungeon delving platformer. I guess that's what I would say. I'm sure someone's going to say that there's an easy name for it that I'm just not thinking of right now, but it is fantastic. It is very cute, and you'll see that I put a lot of cute games in these videos because I think that the cutest ones are some of the best. Like if you didn't see the panis pot from the last one, and yes, I'm saying panis, like an actual pot that you put on the stove. That one was adorable, so I do put a lot of cute things in this because I do really enjoy the cute levels. But it's a great game. It's very fun. There are 3 levels currently. I think only 3. And it is deep and it's pretty tough. And it's very, very enjoyable. So moving on to the last one for the actual top 5 for this week. That is Cobalt Cliffs. And again, this is a beautiful, beautiful art style for a game. It is very reminiscent, not just the art style, but the gameplay too, of Mega Man. So if you like Mega Man, definitely try this out. And I wouldn't say it's a fully fledged game yet. I would say that the mechanics are there, the art style is there, the gameplay is there, but it just doesn't quite get to the level that I would want to qualify it as a full game. And obviously there would be multiple levels and stuff like that, but even at this point, there is not quite enough gameplay or length there for me to really qualify it as this like fully fledged game, but it definitely has a lot of potential, and as it is, it's very fun and very cool looking and a very interesting, like I've said before, demonstration of concept. It is not totally finished, and I imagine that there could be a lot more to this, or perhaps the creator was just trying it out as a more exact clone of Mega Man and was just waiting on it to see how it did and to see how it was to create all of these different assets before they actually went and created something themselves. But yep, this one is wonderful. It's very cute, it's very fun. It's tough, but not quite Mega Man tough, you know, but the controls are fantastic. The character design is adorable, and I say adorable in like the pixel sense. Not like it's cutesy, it's still pretty badass, but it's cute. It's like cool. It's cool. Maybe cool is a better word for that. Hope people don't take cute as an insult, because I certainly do not mean it as one. I mean it as one of my biggest compliments possible. But yes, that is the top 5. So I'm going to have 3 honorable mentions today, because from here, I kind of want to move outside the realm of stuff I saw in the beta, or that a lot of people probably did see in the beta, and make sure that I'm mentioning specifically levels that are not constantly recommended to people, or other ones that are just, you know, outside the realm of what you may have seen so far. And again, that is why there are no survival horror ones these times, minus Neon to some extent. But I want to talk about Metal Mother because it was very interesting, and I'm going to talk about all these pretty quickly because they are honorable mentions, they're not just the top 5. And this one is just an interesting proof of concept, so it is not a full game, and it is not even really a fully fledged level, but it's just very interesting to see someone recreate so faithfully that like Quake, Unreal, Doom-esque first-person shooter, and it just feels so much like those games, and I can't quite pinpoint what it is, but it's definitely the gun design and the first-person aspect. It's very interesting. I really like it. Definitely recommend at least checking it out, and I'm hoping, again, like so many of these, to see more in the future, but yeah, I guess we'll see how that goes. But second honorable mention today is Polarity, and I say this because it's more of a, I know you've probably played this, but if you haven't, go play it, because it's been mentioned 1,000 times, so that's why it's not in the top 5. It's obviously fantastic, and like I said before, it has a very interesting jump mechanic, and I could see this exactly how it is being pulled into a fully fledged game with like 0 changes to any of the assets or anything like that. It's very interesting. I think the mechanics work very well. The controls are very tight. The visuals are gorgeous. Maybe just adding more detail could add more of a you know, unique style to different levels, but as it stands as a single level, it has its own unique style, hands down. I know I said I wasn't going to talk too much about this, but definitely go play that if you haven't yet. And last but not least, I actually wanted to talk about the Zelda level, because I know that everybody has seen this, and if you haven't, check it out. And partially because the character design is kind of cute and kind of silly, it's a little bit over the top, but it's also like kind of impressive. And more specifically, it is just a gorgeous forest scene that feels very 3D. It kind of feels like that one forest scene by Media Molecule that keeps getting recommended to me that I've seen 100 times, but it never feels real. It feels more like a painting than an actual scene. This feels like if that was an actual scene. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm sorry, I'm getting very specific in these honorable mentions, but that's why they're honorable mentions and not widely go play all of this stuff right now, like the main top 5. So, anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, next week is going to be more niche stuff if I actually manage to find enough for next week's video. If not, and something else comes up, we'll have 2 other videos next week, but for right now, this is what you're getting. So I hope you liked it. If you did, feel free to leave a like down below and subscribe if you want to see more. Let me know what you guys think about these levels, and if you have any recommendations, please leave them for me. I'm always down to look for more levels that people haven't played. And if you do leave a recommendation, I don't talk about it, 99% chance it's just because I either forgot about it or because I just didn't get the chance to film it yet, because these videos take a while to make, even the ones where I'm just talking about levels that I enjoyed. Yep. Thus is the life of a YouTuber that has a full-time job in addition to being a YouTuber. So, regardless, have a wonderful day, guys. I will talk to you in the next video, and thank you for watching. Bye for now. Goodbye. Bye, guys.